Hey everybody, find the boys on Facebook by searching The Longbox, a month in comics, and follow them on Twitter at The Longbox MIC.
Hello and welcome to the Longbox, the road to Infinity War. I'm Doug Hawkins.
And I'm Danny Holmes.
Excellent. I thought I'd bring Danny in on this one because we're going to be doing Iron Man 2 because it's the next in the line. I find this film, it's the one that some people like and some people don't.
I loved it this viewing.
Yeah,
I'm just going to throw that out there straight away.
The most you've ever liked the movie?
I think so. Yeah, I really think so. I've always liked it, but I remember it being... I remember it really dragging in the middle the last time I watched it, and that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
That might have even been ready for Iron Man 3 or something like that.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, I remember it really dragging in the middle. Because I think I might have been watching it with someone who wasn't really into it. So you know what it's like when you watch
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah. You judge
sort of
it,
get the
yeah,
bad vibes.
yeah.
But for some reason this time, man, I was
Fun.
so into it. I loved it. People complain about Mickey Rourke. Fucking love him.
Yeah.
I love him in this movie.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Sam Rockwell's obviously amazing. I just fucking love everything about it.
I would say I'm the other way around. This is the least I've ever enjoyed this movie. Watching it through these eyes, watching it way back then. When it first came out the cinema, I was absolutely over the moon with it.
Yeah.
I didn't get swept up with the Iron Man fever when it came out. I was informed it was a good movie and then checked it out on DVD. And like I mentioned in the Iron Man episode, there is this lull in the middle of it. And I was like, okay, so this is what people class as a great movie. Fine. I'm on board. I really like it. This is cool. So when I went in opening day for Iron Man 2, I was like, okay, this is great. This is exactly the same as Iron Man 1. And then I was shocked to hear the negative reviews.
Yeah.
Now looking back at it, I can see why there's the negative reviews.
Really?
Yeah, I think the film is overindulgent.
Really?
Yeah, and what I mean by that is there's just too much rides on Downey Jr. and his shtick. And I understand you got Sam Rockwell.
Yeah, no, I
got
get
him.
that, actually. I did get a bit of that this time.
Yeah.
You know, we were talking the other day about specifically the scene that's obviously ad-libbed where he decides to give Pepper the company.
Yes, it's a very long scene, and it's nice. Obviously, that's where their characters come from, is they're ad-libbing, and their relationships, they're ad-libbing. But it's a scene where it goes on for a very long time, doesn't it? Where they're down in his workshop, Pepper and him, and they just ad-lib and back and forth, and it's quite witty and it's quite interesting to watch, but it doesn't. Most of it does not serve the plot of the movie.
No.
And then it gets to the point where he comes to the revelation of, oh, Pepper, I'll give you my company because I don't know how to run it, and that was what all that ad-lib was about. Was kind of the juxtaposition of kind of like wrestling control of what needs to be done with this charity and that charity and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And then after so he comes to the revelation, and then after that he's like, oh, actually I've been giving this some thought, and it's like this scene.
The robot's even there with champagne.
It's like
he'd given some thought to even do it right then.
Yeah, it's like, okay, this doesn't.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, so was that Tony acting the whole time? Was he just like setting Pepper up? Like, was it a shtick? Like, that's the thing, and it's just too much of that.
Yeah.
I also think the same with the senator scene. These are amazing scenes on their own.
Yeah.
Like, you have so much fun with them, but they're real long and they do not serve the plot of the movie.
Yeah.
Like, what we learn in that senator scene is useful for the plot, but it could be done in a tenth of the time.
Yeah.
Like, in any other script, that would have been done with a voiceover from a news report.
Yeah.
But we have an entire scene, and it's because Rockwell's great in there, and we introduce the new roadie and things like that. But yeah, I just feel the film's overindulgent. You get to a certain point, you're like, we've not actually got to what this movie is about yet.
Yeah.
It just takes so long because you got the expo at the beginning as well. And, yeah. So I think its biggest problem is the fact it's overindulgent. But I'll go through a few more as well. So it starts off with Whiplash building in Russia, basically. Whiplash's dad dies, and he's like, okay, I'm gonna get my revenge, and that's kind of a nice little echo to Iron Man 1 because it very much feels like when Tony was building in the cave. That's quite nice. And I would say at least Whiplash gets the point that actually it's the arc reactor, which is the amazing bit of technology, not that fucking suit. Like, that's the problem about, I think, the Iron Man, and because you have that scene in the Senate's office where they're talking, Hammer is talking about building suits, and it's like, what happens if everyone else gets their hands on the suit? It's like, never mind the fucking suits. Like, it's the arc reactor, which is the amazing piece of technology.
Yeah.
It's like, there's two things that Tony Stark has created. It's the arc reactor, which is amazing, and Jarvis. They are better than the fucking Iron Man suit. Like, they're amazing pieces of technological advances, not this fucking toy that he's built that he's flown about.
I know we're jumping ahead, but I always think that as well in Age of Ultron. You know, where he's got the different, and it's a bit of an Easter egg, he's got like Chikasta and all the memory card things with all the new AIs on.
Yeah.
I thought, how many fucking things has he created?
Yeah.
I mean, I know he's smart, but what?
That could change the world. Yeah, exactly. Don't worry about the Iron Man suit. Yeah, and the film doesn't really make it clear if it knows that the arc reactor... Because obviously the characters are in on the idea of the suit, but the film itself doesn't really lean on... You know, it's not clear if, like, Jon Favreau thinks, or the scriptwriter thinks that... You know, the characters are wrong in that train of thought to think that the suits are great. So I don't know if the film's in on it as well. I'm not too sure. Like, it's not particularly clear.
This is the first film I saw in IMAX.
Was it?
So that helped the movie a lot. Like, I can remember walking into the screen, and I don't know why, I was a little bit late, and I walked in on... I missed the very beginning when the dad dies.
Yeah.
And I walked in on Mickey Rourke or Whiplash.
Yeah.
Vanco fucking creating, building the arc reactor and the whips and stuff. Yeah. And I was just fucking amazed by the size of IMAX, and it really sucked me in on this movie because it is a good look.
Is that what you reckon it is? Yeah. Okay. What do you think about the Rhodey recast?
Fine, better.
Yeah, I think better as well.
Better. He's amazing.
My wife doesn't. She prefers the original Rhodey.
Really?
Yeah, but
I think he's a good actor, Terrence Howard, but I know it's a funny thing, but I don't really like his voice.
No,
he's got a funny voice, and I don't think he doesn't suit like. I don't know. I really struggle to see him in a War Machine suit.
Yeah,
I could buy him as the Air Force captain. Or whatever he is. Yeah. Fine, he looked like someone who was in. But I'm glad. I think he would just look odd.
Yeah.
In an Iron Man suit. War Machine
I mean, I'm the same. Like, if he was Rhodey in Iron Man 2, I'm absolutely happy with that. I think he could have pulled that off, and I probably wouldn't mind seeing him in the War Machine too. I don't want to really get into detail with the other movies because I want to do this movie by movie, but I think that the recasting was better moving forward.
Later on, yeah,
it really works.
Yeah,
later on, where I don't think it would have. I don't think Terrence Howard would have done. It was about money, wasn't it? He wanted to get paid shitloads, and they were just like, "Well, fuck off."
Well, because turns out Terrence Howard was the first one signed on
for Iron Man 1.
For Iron Man 1, so he got loads of money. And then so Robert Downey Jr. didn't get that much money. Got paid fuck all. So when it came time to contracts negotiations on the next one, obviously they wanted to pay Robert Downey Jr. more because everybody fell in love with Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
And so they went to Terrence and said, "You can't get paid as much as you did last time, or as much as we promised you, whatever." Don't know the ins and outs of it.
Yeah.
So he just went,
"Oh, fuck you."
He'll fuck you then. Okay. So that's why he's come out saying, like, Robert Downey Jr.'s greedy and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And he screwed me and all that sort of stuff. Don't know.
I don't think he's not worth the money though. Like, he does very little in the first movie. Like, Terrence Howard does. Yeah, he's not worth that sort of money in the.
But was he then though?
Maybe.
Big actor then, wasn't he? And Robert Downey Jr. was on his fucking arse.
Yeah. No, I understand that there should be a pay difference in that respect, but to be pissy, I don't know. I'm just really glad that the recasting happened.
I love Don Cheadle.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Yeah, and apart from his shoddy British accent in the Oceans movie, I love him and everything.
But they kind of lean on that.
All
right. Yeah. Okay, moving on. I mentioned the overindulgence. The overindulgent being the problem with this movie. I also think the other big problem is the two villains.
Right.
So you got two characters which are the counterpart of Tony Stark's two, alter egos.
Yeah.
So you have Hammer, who is juxtaposed to Tony, and then Whiplash against Iron Man.
Yeah.
But neither of them are anywhere near as good as Tony Stark or Iron Man.
No.
Like, they're the weaker versions, and Tony has no problem like batting them aside. Yeah. There is no fight whatsoever with them.
No.
Like, and that's the problem. Tony Stark spends most of this movie on top.
Yeah.
I mean, people were probably laughing at me when they hear me say that, because he's fighting that fucking disease, and he's a mess, and he's a drunk, and he doesn't really know what to do. But with the battle of the villains, even with all of that, he's still fucking easily, beating off these villains, and it just doesn't make for a good watch.
Yeah.
The only time we get to see Whiplash is in that fucking car scene. the car chase scene, the Formula One scene, which is amazing. That is one of the highlights of the movie. And
it's one of the highlights of the MCU for me because it's my favourite Iron Man suit. I just think.
Oh really?
Incredible. Yeah, I love that.
I love the way it comes out. I don't think it looks great on him because of the hinges.
No, I like that about it.
Okay.
It's not. Sorry, it's not. It's my second favourite Iron Man suit. My favourite is in Age of Ultron, but we'll keep jumping ahead.
Yeah.
But it was definitely my favourite for a long time.
I admired the practicality of it.
Yeah.
I didn't like the look of it.
I just think it looked so fucking cool, and I like the idea of it being weaker because it was like a backup one.
Yeah.
So it couldn't do everything that his normal suit could, and it wasn't quite as strong. It was cracking. I fucking loved it. I really loved it. Like they've almost written their way out of that now because now he's building Hulkbusters that come in from space. And there's no way he's ever
getting into a weaker version.
Getting on a half-done suit ever again. So it's a bit of a shame that we're not going to see some more
stuff like that.
Some ingenuity with a bit of...
But but again, that's the only time we get to see Whiplash, and he just fucking, after he beats him, and the same with Hammer. Hammer keeps coming at him on the way through the movie, and he's just swatting him back. You're crap. You're like Hammer's fucking inept. I mean, I know that's the joke.
Yeah.
But he just doesn't make for a good villain.
No, but you're right though. The villain is Tony.
Yeah. I suppose you're right, but
they're just there to show you what would happen if Tony doesn't get his fucking shit together.
Right. Okay. So would you say that my criticism is null and void because you have the villain in Tony?
Yes, I think it's null and void because we expect that now from a Marvel movie. We expect them to spend more time.
Yeah, the bad villain. Yeah.
Yeah, and as far as bad villain goes, the villains aren't bad. They're not bad villains in this movie. They're just, well, maybe Whiplash is.
Yeah.
But they're just not used enough.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah. I must say, as hitting what you were saying earlier on, I do love Mickey Rourke in this movie.
Yeah.
I mean, I've heard all sorts of rumours about him, like, over-preparing for this movie. Like, apparently he spent
some time in the Russian prison.
Yeah. What, for this? Like...
Well, fair play to him.
I think someone watched The Dark Knight and was like, I want a bit of that. I think that's what happened in this movie.
Maybe, but this movie, I didn't realise... I read a bit of trivia. This movie was straight after The Wrestler.
Yeah.
And somebody went, oh, he can act.
Yeah.
And so he must have gone, oh, I can act.
Yeah.
I'm going to fucking prepare for this role, maybe.
Because I hear he even paid for his own gold teeth, because that wasn't in the budget, and he wanted that for the character.
Yeah, I heard something like
that. Yeah, and the bird thing was all his as well.
Yeah.
Which, again, I think there's too much screen time is taken up by that.
No, I love it.
Okay, again, I think it's overindulgent.
Yeah, I'm sorry, mate. I fucking love this movie so much.
Okay.
It's really got me this time. I don't know why, because if you'd have asked me what my favourite trilogy was in the MCU, I would have said Captain America. I still think so. But I like Iron Man, but I thought, in my head, I always thought it was a bit weak, actually.
Yeah.
The first one's obviously great, but it has its ups and downs in my head.
Yeah.
And the second one I always thought was a bit of a down.
Yeah.
And the third one, obvious reasons, we'll get to them later. Or you will, maybe.
Yeah.
But on this watch, I don't know, mate. I was so fucking involved in this movie. I proper enjoyed it. I must have been just in a really good mood. I don't know.
Or the IMAX thing kicked in.
Yeah, I don't know.
But
I've got a big TV at home now. Maybe that helps. I don't know.
Back to the influence from The Dark Knight. I do think there was probably some studio notes being about that. Just because of the stuff in the prison. Just feel, the stuff with Mickey Rourke, Whiplash in the prison, and the way that the prison break played out, and just the way that's shot, and it's done without being explained.
Away,
that just feels so much like Dark Knight. I think there was some studio notes on like that film's a success.
Were they the same year then?
No, Iron Man 1 and Dark Knight the same year.
Oh, okay.
So this would be coming,
okay.
The world was ablaze that year. Like the wheel had been reinvented twice. That year. So I think it was like, we need some of that as well, sort of thing.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's just weird because the MCU is never really like that any other time, and just felt a little bit alien there for it to be like that. But I don't know. Maybe that was just what Mickey Rourke was bringing with the character, so they decided to bring that with the visuals and the writing.
I just, on the way over, I finished listening to you doing the Incredible Hulk one, and you mentioned something the same. Do you think that's just Marvel finding their feet?
Yeah, definitely.
They were testing everything.
Definitely. Yeah.
We notice it so much now because we know how they make a movie now.
Yes, yeah.
So looking.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Then they were just finding out. So Jon Favreau came up with a way of doing it with the Incredible Hulk. I would say that feels more like an obvious traditional movie. Like that's the one majority, 99% of directors would have made when making a comic book movie of that time. Let's take ourselves seriously and let's try and go down that route. And then after the end of 2008, they've got column A and they've got column B. It's like, which one do we pick? Column B. column H, let's say, Iron Man, and they kicked on from there. So that's why they were definitely finding their feet. They that wasn't they didn't open the doors to Jon Favreau and go, this is what we're doing. Yeah. They definitely found their feet, and you can see that in Incredible Hulk as well, because the MCU is left in a place where the future of the Avengers looks very military. It looks like it's going to be heavily involving Ross and heavily involving the Hulk, and it feels like the move's going to kickstart from there. And then they've obviously taken a step back and go, actually, that's not what works here. The two movies will work. Let's try and re-engineer this, and we will talk, in the next coming weeks about exactly how that was re-engineered. But it was definitely them finding their feet. I think there's this myth that they had a master plan. They didn't. They just took their time. They just baby stepped it.
Yeah. They knew where they wanted to end up. But
They didn't, let's say, release a movie that wasn't well received, and then the week after start production on the sequel to that movie with the director that naming hypothetical other franchises. They didn't do that at all. No. They took a breath and they analysed what they had each time, and now they can just roll them out because they got their groove. But baby steps to start off with. Yeah. What else have I got?
I've got a couple of little tidbits. One was Kate Mara, so Mrs. Fantastic, or Mrs. the Invisible Woman, I should say. Yeah. Serves Tony.
Yes, I know. I felt very good. It's like,
and then with the Fox News, he's kind of like,
I was like, I really enjoyed that. It was like, oh my god, Invisible Woman meets Captain America. Meets Tony Stark. Yeah, I loved that. I picked up on that as well.
That was great. One of the other things I've written down, we've touched on it already, but Tony is an absolute fucking arsehole in this movie.
Yeah.
He's a real prick.
Yeah. To everyone.
A real prick. Yeah.
Biggest examples? Getting drunk.
Yeah. And then just obviously just being a fucking wanker to Pepper in that scene.
Yeah.
And to Rhodey.
Yeah.
And to...
I think that's why it's nice to see him get his ass kicked in that scene.
Yeah. Well, I didn't write down any specifics.
And just beforehand, going onto the fucking racetrack and that, it's just dick move. Racing his own car. And
I've got a car, might as well race it. So the driver's like...
I'm trying to win you a championship, you prick.
Yeah. You son of a bitch.
Yeah.
I've been preparing for this.
Yeah.
Well, I can't think of any other examples, but...
No, that's cool. I've got a question for you. Arc reactor powering the suits. Okay? So...
Yeah, well,
Tony
I was going to have this question with you.
Tony Stark has an arc reactor in his chest, which powers his suit.
I don't know. I was going to ask you this question.
Because
so is there another arc reactor in the suit? Because there's a scene where Tony first goes down to the workshop quite early in the movie, and you see the Mark 1, Mark 2, Mark 3, and Mark 5, I think, randomly. And I think they've all got arc reactors. Or at least a light in their chest, I don't know.
This is the thing, because Rhodey can just pick one up, so there's obviously portable arc reactors in there. So I think that's what it is. I think he's got an arc reactor in him that keeps the shrapnel from ripping his heart out, and then on top of that is a thinner arc reactor, which we know they can build thinner arc reactors because Mickey fucking Whiplash does.
Yeah.
He has one just there. Yeah. And then so he's built for the suits to be power. So basically the suit has its own power source, which isn't the one from Tony. That's my reading into the situation.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah. But whilst we're on that subject...
But the film never makes that
clear.
Why
has Tony got an arc reactor in his chest?
Why doesn't he get the shrapnel removed, are you asking?
Well, he does that eventually, I get that. But why does he need something that can power a fucking city in his chest just to hold on?
Yeah, I know, I understand.
The magnet and the thing at the beginning was better, was it not?
It was just as good, but it was just obvious. Yeah, I know what you mean. You could just make a small version of the magnet and the thing. But I think it was just like, I've got to build this anyway to power this Mark 1 suit. Two birds with one stone.
Yeah, but that's fine. If you think that arc reactor within him then powers the suit.
Yeah.
The suit comes on, connects to his chest, whatever, powers the suit, fine. That's why he's the only one who can go in an Iron Man suit. But then they lose that.
I absolutely believe it. I completely agree with you because that's the gimmick of that character, that only Tony Stark can be Iron Man because of that. He has that thing that can power it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
His disability is also his strength.
Yeah.
I think that they have no interest moving forward with that concept, and that's why they throw it out. And I don't want to get into it, but when we get further and further down the franchises, there's things like that where they just go, lob it out. Like whatever we set up in the last movie, that was just for that movie. Now we're doing something else. No, we're just rapidly going through it. But yeah,
things you don't really care when we're enjoying the movie.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. We want them to do wider universe stuff. So it's just fucking kick on. In the same way that like the Justice League movie, we're not too concerned that Batman isn't trying to like avenge the death of his parents, or it's not going back to the core values of that character.
Yeah.
Because we're above and beyond that now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's the same with where we go with the Iron Man sequels.
Cool.
I really hate. We just talked about that scene where he gets drunk and they have that fight.
Yeah.
I like what that does plot wise, and I like the fact that we get War Machine for the first time. I hate the fact it's 2 CGI characters a lot of the time. Like, especially when they do the close-up talking, they don't open the masks. It's just a CGI shot of the faceplate cut to another CGI shot of the faceplate. It always makes me cringe.
Right.
I really hate that scene.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
Is Black Widow overqualified for the task that she's given in this movie? Like, because now we know who, like, what she, like, how badass she is. To just have a fucking spy on Tony Stark seems a bit below her pay grade.
I was trying to think. I'm pausing because I'm trying to think if there was any other motive as to why she was there. Would it make more sense for her to... No, it wouldn't. I was going to say, would it make more sense for her to be there in the first one? Because she could have also been spying on Obadiah or something. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I don't know, you throw me a bit, because the next thing I was going to say is this the most Black Widow she's been? Very manipulating.
Yeah, she is. Yeah.
Very...
And the thing is, this is her doing covert shit, and that's what's interesting about it. We don't really get to see that. We get to see a scene of it in the Avengers and stuff. Let's not jump too far ahead in other movies, but we never get to see her do her covert shit. So it's really good. And I think that she is... This movie gets criticised for doing lots of heavy lifting for Avengers. Like, it feels like it takes time out. Not as much as maybe other hypothetical other franchises where people are just opening emails. Like, this is done so much better than that.
Yeah.
And Black Widow really serves a purpose in this movie.
Yeah.
I think it's absolutely great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Next week when we talk about a character that turns up that as a setup for Avengers doesn't work so well.
I can't think what you're talking about. But I'm sure we're going to.
We'll get onto it next week.
Yeah.
But I think Black Widow fits just fine. There is that scene, the donut scene as I call it, where he's hungover and he just spends time with Nick Fury and they just spell shit out, and it's just like obvious. Let's take time out to set up the Avengers. But apart from that, I think the film doesn't.
Yeah, they do take a bit of time out just to set up the Avengers, but they also stave his high-tech crossword puzzles, Fury calls.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
and tells him that his dad probably figured out your problem. Yeah. The answer to your problem here.
I want to jump to that.
Go on.
It's hiding an element in the fucking...
Oh, that's ridiculous.
It's fucking bullshit, isn't it? My eyes just go cross-eyed when they're like talking about... Like that whole last bit of the movie where he's solving his dad's problem. I just fucking don't care. Like, why would he
I'm not pretending to be a smart person, but sometimes I can get some of the science of some of, not necessarily movies like this, but other movies. Yeah. I can sort of get it when they explain it to me a bit. Fine, I understand that you think this sounds okay.
Yeah.
With this movie, you're right. I don't think it makes any sense.
Yeah.
What does he mean? I've discovered an element. I just can't do it because technology won't let me yet.
But what, am I not making this public? Or why do I need to be so elaborate about hiding it? Like, is it because he doesn't want Hydra to get his hands?
I don't know. Can't it just be in a fucking notebook?
Yeah.
Or is it a test for Tony? Is it Tomb Raider?
I don't know. It's not fucking clear, is it?
I don't know. It's ridiculous. And it doesn't fucking Coulson say you can't just make an element? He's like, yeah, watch me.
Yeah.
How does he make the element? I still don't understand.
No,
he's got the mini hadron collider, and then he just like puts him through a shitty little glass prism.
Yeah.
And points it towards the triangle thing.
Yeah.
What's the triangle thing?
I just felt like I think there was just in Iron Man 1 people got joy of him building shit.
Yeah.
And it was just like, can we just have him build something again?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. We'll make it build an element.
Yeah.
Yeah. Done.
Whilst we're on that scene, just very briefly, what the fuck is that Captain America shield? It's a plastic flimsy piece of shit.
Yeah.
Is it a toy? What does he mean? He goes, why have you got this?
Yeah.
Because everybody has
I was
one of those.
talking to my wife.
Captain America, they sold comic books.
Yeah, I was talking to my wife, and I was like, is that the prototype? Was that the prototype of the mold, which then Howard used to make the adamantium shield?
Vibranium.
Yeah,
no,
sorry.
It's not, because when
shield.
having it ends up that it's just a shield. They paint it with the colours.
They can paint it that good. So
just
why would the mould be those colours? So unless they were like, we don't want to put the paint on yet, can you make it red and blue?
No, it's a moody little plastic thing. You can't tell me that's the mould for a vibranium.
No, not mould. Okay, maybe it was like prototype. But
let's see what this could look like.
Like I'm not going to colour this.
No, because the concept of Captain America wasn't around then.
When? No, I'm saying Howard Stark built it. So I'm saying, jumping to Captain America. Yeah. Captain America sees the vibranium shield. It's already got the star on it.
No, it's not.
Oh, it hasn't. Okay, so he sees the shield, and he goes, "Okay, cool. I want this."
Yeah.
So we need to paint it up to make it this costume.
Yeah.
Okay. So Howard's like, I'm not just going to fucking wax and paint on this without making it work. Let's get my lackeys to build plastic versions, so I can see what it would look like paint. That's the only explanation. That's the only explanation.
I just don't buy it.
Yeah. Just briefly, because I want to wrap this up. We've been going on for a lot longer than I do my other episodes.
Sorry.
The Whiplash Mark II looks shit.
Yeah. Terrible.
Nothing interesting visually about that.
CGI crap.
Yeah, and they defeat him. I don't understand why they thought that. Like, they needed to stick him in that suit. Like, the whole point in Whiplash was he wasn't another... like I said at the beginning of this episode, he realised it's not the suit that's interesting, it's the fucking arc reactor. Yeah. So then to just stick him in a fucking Iron Man suit with whips, I think you could have done something better. I know that the obvious answer is like, they'll just kill him straight away. But you write around it. Then you just write him. You just write it better. I don't know. Yeah. I think you've just made that really uninteresting now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Post-credit scene.
Before we get to post-credits, there's one thing that really fucking annoyed me in the movie.
Yeah.
When Tony's being chased by the hammer bots, as they're called.
Yeah.
And they're shooting. He's flying towards civilians.
Yeah.
He does like, it's like showing off in front of civilians whilst these things are fucking shooting at him. People have died in that room. I don't give a fuck what you're saying. Like, he flies downwards towards everybody at the expo. Up.
I mean, because I was going to say the obvious thing to say is like,
fucking go up.
They're only after him. That's true, but there's fucking friendly fire. You know, you're going to get caught in the crossfire, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's ridiculous. He's flying right.
It just fucked
me right up.
Yeah, it just looks visually cool. I think that's it.
Yeah.
Okay. Post-credit scene. Best post-credit scene so far in the MCU. So it's the hammer. I mean, so far in the three movies. Yeah.
Yes, because I can remember again like in the IMAX creaming mopeds,
wetting it because you knew what that was.
So I'll tell you the story after.
Yeah.
It's just about my wife.
Yeah.
She should have left me at my excitement of the hammer.
Right.
Is all I'll say.
Yeah. Okay.
She didn't know what the hammer was.
Yeah. No, I watched it with my wife and she didn't know what it was.
Yeah, I was like, and I wasn't even. I mean, I've always been a closet comic book fan, but I was never fully into comics. But I knew what the fuck that was, and it really made me wet myself.
Yeah,
like
excellent. Yeah, at that point, it was the best one, isn't it? Yeah,
because it was a great callback as well. Like, because Coulson in the middle of the movie just goes, "I've got to go to Mexico."
Mexico.
And you think, "Oh, that's a bit weird, but whatever." And then the scene carries on with Tony doing the fucking building the thing, whatever. And then for him to be in Mexico, you think, "Oh, what the fuck's going on in Mexico?" And it's fucking Thor's hammer.
Yeah,
I remember losing my mind in the cinema.
It is amazing. Yeah,
yeah.
Because even I understand that more important is the Iron Man one for the context of movies. The Iron Man end credit scene where you see Nick Fury, that's a landmark moment in history. But out of like coming your pants, like amazingness, that hammer one is fucking great. Yeah. And I don't think we get close later on. There's one maybe that we'll get to eventually that I think might rival that. But out of fucking like, oh my god, you just set up a character in the I can't wait, and everything's tried to copy that since, isn't it? Like, it's been absolutely amazing.
Did we know that, because I didn't have an IMDb app at the time, so I wouldn't have been following movie news as much. Did we know that Thor was coming at that point?
I did. I personally knew.
Okay, I'm
so that's
sure
why I wasn't so like, oh my god, because I was like, oh yeah, okay, this makes sense.
No, I don't think I did know. No, okay. And I just saw that and I was like, fuck me. So we're getting Thor at some point.
Yeah.
Like, and it was like, next.
Yeah.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah. Excellent. Okay, so we always wrap these shows up by ranking the movies. Like, instead of giving thumbs up, thumbs down, ranking the movies. I think this one's quite easy to rank.
You're going to put it third then, are you?
I'm going to put this second.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Great.
It's not that bad. Like, okay, right. I'll do my explanation of that. Although all the complaints I've just said about the overindulgence, Downey Jr., Sam Rockwell, and Mickey Rourke, and those characters.
Didn't suck Sam Rockwell's dick enough for my liking, but there's not time.
Yeah.
Sam Rockwell was amazing.
We could do an entire episode on how fucking great his performance is.
Yeah.
Like, the overindulgentness brings it up. Yeah. Like, it doesn't work as a movie, but as a piece of entertainment, it works really well. Yeah, I mean, I'll give you a quick example. It's a bit like when Anchorman came out and everyone loved that. You could buy a DVD, which was someone had cobbled together all the outtakes and made a kind of like a flimsy story with a voiceover, and it was kind of like, if you're a big fan, objectively it's not going to be a great movie, but if you're a big fan, watch this. I feel that about Iron Man too. Like, if you're a huge fan of Iron Man, watch this supplementary shit, and I feel that's what this feels like. But it's so enjoyable. Like, I don't think it works particularly well as a movie, but individually I thought it was great. So because of its entertainment value, I would say out of the 3 movies I've done, it's Iron Man first, Iron Man 2 second, then The Incredible Hulk. Would you agree? Excellent. Cool. Right, that's pretty much a wrap then. I just want to make sure anyone that's listening along at home and wants to go back to our kind of our archives catalogue, if it's not on SoundCloud or on iTunes, because they do drop off eventually due to kind of time restraints, please check us out on YouTube. I've got all our stuff archived on there. That's the Longbox, A Month in Comics on YouTube. In fact, I'll put a link below in the explanation underneath this podcast. Okay, I've been Doug.
And I've been Danny.
Read more comics.